Alright guys, how you guys doing this weekend so far? It is Friday evening. This actually should be up by 5 o'clock. And we're just going to kind of continue from where we left off the other day with absolute value equations. We started off with some basics. And now we're going to be actually moving on, and we're going to go to some harder absolute value equations. But yet these still aren't all that difficult. So I don't trust that you'll have too much problem with these. Now we have we're gonna have two examples today. I hope you guys liked the picture. I thought it was kind of funny, the Batman redneck mobile here. Anyways, so let's go ahead and look at example 1. Now if you guys remember, I did specifically tell you last week that whenever you have absolute values, before you can get rid of the absolute value signs, I must get rid of the numbers outside. So you could think of this equation as if you had like 2a plus 2 equals 4, where a equals the absolute value of x plus 2. So we're using what we call substitution, really. We're going to take a variable that we're going to add in, and we're going to make our problem simpler. Alright, so if you think of it this way, and I'm solving for a, the first thing I got to get rid of is the plus 2. So I'm going to subtract 2 to both sides. This gives me 2 times the absolute value of x plus 2 equals 2. And now I'm going to divide by 2 here. And at this point, I will get the absolute value of x plus 2 equals 1. Now this allows me to go ahead, and now at this point, I can get rid of my absolute values and make my two equations. So I have x plus 2 equals 1, or x plus 2 equals negative 1. And then from here, you can go ahead and solve for x. So I'm going to subtract 2 to both sides. I get x equals negative 1, or I subtract 2 here, and I get x equals negative 3. And here is our answer, x equals negative 1 or x equals negative 3. Now I want you to notice something real quick. You notice on the first equation I subtracted 2 to both sides to get my answer. And if you look at the second equation, this is always going to hold true. When you get rid of your absolute value symbols, the lines, and you make your two equations, to solve them, you're going to solve them the exact same way always. The only thing that's going to change is your answer. That's it. Okay? So you get the answer of x equals negative 1 or x equals negative 3. Now let's go ahead and do one more. And you notice that on this one, I had one step inside and I had 2 things to deal with outside. Now I've got 2 things outside and 2 things inside. And this does not make it any harder. It's the same process that we had to do the first time. So I have to get rid of what's outside first. So I have to get rid of the minus 7 first. And this is going to give me 3 times the absolute value of 2x minus 1 equals 17, because these will cancel out. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to divide this by 3. Okay? And this is going to give me the absolute value of 2x minus 1 equals 17 over 3. Now, I understand you guys don't like working with fractions. Hey, I don't like working with fractions. But sometimes it's necessary. And you just have to get better with the fractions in order for you to be very good at these problems. So now I'm going to make my two equations. I've got 2x minus 1 equals 17 over 3. And I've got 2x minus 1 equals negative 17 over 3. And from here, now you're going to solve for x. So I'm going to add 1 to both sides. I get 2x equals, I'll do the extra work over here. So 17 over 3 plus 1. We're going to put that over 1, which means you're going to multiply this by 3 over 3. So you get 17 over 3 plus 3 over 3. 17 plus 3 is going to be 20 over 3. And this cannot be simplified. So you have 20 over 3. And now I'm going to divide by 2. Now, right here, I would divide by 2, but remember, dividing by any number is the same thing as multiplying by that number's reciprocal. So instead of dividing by 2, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal of 2, which is 1/2. And I'm going to get x equals 20 times 1 is 20, and 3 times 2 is 6, which I then can simplify by 2, which would give me 10 over 3. And here would be my first answer. Do the same process here. I'm going to add 1 to both sides. I'm going to get 2x equals, if you remember 1 we made to be 3 over 3. So this is negative 17 over 3 plus 3 over 3. And that's going to give you negative 14 over 3, which again you cannot simplify this either. So you get 14 over 3 negative, and divide by 2, and again instead of dividing by 2 I'm going to multiply by 1/2, and I get x equals negative 14 over 6, which simplifies to negative 7 over 3. Alright, and this would be my second answer. So I get x equals 10 over 3, or x equals negative 7 over 3. And here is my answer for this this problem as well. Again, I know you guys don't care to work with fractions, but sometimes it's required, so you might as well get used to it now. I hope that things go well with these notes, and I am going to try to figure out how to maybe add some music to the notes, but I haven't quite figured that out just yet. So hopefully this weekend I'll get to figuring that out. Come prepared to class on Tuesday, ready to work on problems like these, and then we're going to go into a little bit of graphing of absolute values, and then we're going to go into inequality absolute values as well. So I trust you guys will have a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing you on Monday.